Hey everybody, I'm Mikey Andersen, and this is Fantasy Avenue, where each week we talk about everything you need to know in the world of fantasy football.
What's up, my mammals? It's Sid the Sloth from Ice Age, back with another Fantasy Avenue. Yep, we are back. We're here again. I'm Mikey Andersen. I'm not Sid the Sloth. I don't know. That TikTok's been circulating, so go ahead and find that, because holy crap, is it funny. Hello, and welcome back to another episode. Got maybe a little bit of a shorter episode today, as we look towards last week's predictions. We look towards next week's predictions. We talk a little bit about my fantasy life. We talk about some people that have been important in my fantasy life. And then we say sayonara, because I got somewhere I need to be in 35 minutes, counting about 15 minutes. So I got about 20 minutes to actually leave here, which doesn't account podcast uploading time. So we're going to have a short episode, but I know you guys, I know some of you don't necessarily like to listen to my entire podcast. So I'm going to cut right to the chase, and I'm going to get in this episode before we start wasting a lot of time. I want to say, what just happened? That was weird. I want to say to everybody who's been listening to the podcast recently, thank you. Thank you for stopping in again. I want to get gotta get the listens back up. I gotta get the guests on the show. We've talked to a couple of people. Gotta get that done. And we're gonna look right to this week in fantasy. So we're starting right off with my trade from last week and what it's really done for me. As some might say, I'm made out as a bandit, right? A smoky bandit, if you will quote a movie title, The Bandits and the Evergreen by Mikey Andersen. Just made that right up right now. Going to be a Hollywood movie soon. And yeah, I did. Holy guacamole. I got myself Austin Eckler, Terry McLaurin, and a second-round pick in next year's draft. This is a dynasty draft, by the way. And, yep, I don't edit. I don't care. I don't edit. I don't care. So picks carry over. But we only draft rookies the following season. So picks don't matter as much as they do, but they still have an effect, right? I trade away a second-round pick. No. I get a second-round pick, Austin Eckler and Terry McLaurin. I trade away Devontae Adams and a first-round pick. So let's think about my haul here. Let's just take a minute to think about it. I'm a team with no running back RB1s, right? My best running back on my team is Josh Jacobs. He is okay. He is not necessarily amazing. And I have a lot of good receivers. I have a lot of depth, and I can afford to get rid of Devontae Adams. So that right there, oh God, my Mac is going to run out of battery if I don't plug into it. Uh-oh. Okay, that would be a worst-case scenario, so while I talk, I'm going to get that plugged in, because I'm not stopping this podcast, because I've said I got things to do, right? Got things to do, got places to be, got people to see. It's an important day in the life of Mikey. So anyway, I had to get this trade done. I have the ability to get depth, and in my opinion, Austin Eckler for Devontae Adams is advantageous towards Austin Eckler in any situation, but especially the fact that I don't have a legit running back that I can play. Miles Weber, you are calling me on my phone while I'm trying to look at fantasy. I will call you back later. Sorry. So I need to make that change. Then let's just add in a couple other things, right? So I'm already at an advantageous spot. Then throw in Terry McLaurin. Hold up. Okay, we're plugged in. We're good to go. Hold on. Throw in Terry McLaurin as an added piece, replacing the depth that Devontae Adams loses, even though I have a lot of depth. Holy crap, what a trade for me. Yes, I give away a first-round pick, get a second. It's undecided whether fantasy, for me, because I've never played a dynasty draft before, whether these picks are that good or not. Whether the picks past the first round have any real value, I don't know. It's all about finding gems in the rough. With these picks that are past the first round, you can surely be drafting rookies like Justin Jefferson, guys that don't necessarily go at the top of drafts. I'm not going to get a chance to get somebody like Caleb Williams or Bijan Robinson with these rookie draft picks, with these dynasty draft picks. But I will be able to get good players. And so I really don't care that much, right? I would like that trade anyway. I would like Devontae Adams for Austin Eckler giving a first and getting a second, honestly. For what I need in my league, I think that's pretty even. I think it's a little bit better for me considering what I need in my league. Throw in Terry McLaurin to help me with receiver depth. That brings my receivers right now to Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, and Brandon Ayuk, Cortland Sutton. I have Tim Patrick and Mike Williams going into next year, as they're both done for the year this year. My receivers, Jerry Jeudy, Zay Jones, Kate Osborne for what the frick's his name? KJ Osborne. Receiver depth is stacked. These are all legit receivers that can start in a pinch, and I have a lot of them, and they're not in a pinch. I'm getting legit points. So that's just so good for me. I'm so happy with the trade. I'm loving life. My trading game is lights out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, speaking of lights out, Coach Shannon will get that reference. Lights out for real, right? Lights out during warm-ups. Workouts. Sorry, Coach. That's on me. The lights out will only be in the podcast from now on. Maybe I might have to mess around a little bit more still. But anyway, we get stuff done around the podcast, and we get stuff done right now. I keep banging onto the desk. Can you guys hear that? Yeah. See, it makes it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your ears for hearing that. I'm just trying to talk about going on a lights out trading strategy, and I keep hurting your ears. I'm sorry. So that's kind of my leagues. I had an okay week. I'm gonna have a real close one. I'm gonna have a couple L's and I'm gonna have a couple W's. You know, it's just gonna be how the week's gonna be. How about those Broncos? Gosh dang it! Don't really want to talk about the Broncos too much on the podcast, considering I have a lot of fans who are not necessarily fans of the Broncos. Might not want to hear the Broncos segment, but let's ride, Chiefs. It's not your year. Ain't no Super Bowls coming this year. Either there's no chance you're winning the Super Bowl, or you're gonna go up against the Broncos in the AFC Championship game. Those are the only two things you can take away from that game. Either the Broncos are damn good, or the Chiefs are damn bad. So, you know, let's ride for real, right? Come on now. That's my personal story. Let's go into who I talked about last week. In particular, one player, Dalton Kincaid of the Buffalo Bills. A huge ad, dropped like 17 points in his first game. Yes, that's on me. That's a Fantasy Avenue special for you. I got you. Don't worry about it. It's okay. You don't need to thank me. I'm fine. Yeah, that was a good call out. I also want to say that a certain Trey McBride, another good call out that I actually didn't mention, another tight end, big tight ends right now on free agency. Go pick them up. 2 ads straight away. Dalton Kincaid, Trey McBride. I did talk about Trey McBride, I think, a little bit, but just not as much. 2 tight ends that are filling in a starting role. God, I know my tight ends. You know what I'm saying? The tight end. That just the wording tight end makes me think that I know that I need to know about it, and so do you guys. Okay, so you listen up right here, because we're getting down to the business with the tight ends over here. Kirk Cousins. We're gonna drop right from tight ends to unfortunate loose Achilles, as in it's ripped. Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, your name is. I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry for your loss of your tendon. I wish I could repay you with something, because you are on my fantasy teams and I need your help. And when I drafted you, Justin Jefferson, and T.J. Hawkinson in that 10-man league, really thought you had something going for me. Really thought I had a lethal combination. Now you guys have been good, but what the heck is going on with injuries, Vikings? Come on now. So anyway, I'm screwed in that league. Don't even have a quarterback to replace him with. Well, I could probably find someone. We'll see how that goes, you know. Pretty high in Jared Goff. I might see if I can trade for a certain Jared Goff. I want to say Devin Achane, another little thing I'm looking at my team. He's still somehow the number 7 running back, even though he hasn't played in like 3 weeks. So that tells you how much of a beast he is. He cooks. And he barely played like the first 2 weeks either. He's basically played 3 weeks this season, and he's the number 7 running back. And we're going into week, 8? Like, hey? That's crazy. That don't even make no sense. Let's get some. Who am I thinking this week? I'm going to look down the list, right? I like to do this. I'm kind of changing the format a little bit because I don't want this podcast to be boring. I'm looking at the top guys at each position in terms of last week's scoring. And then I kind of look at, I kind of see, these are my ads, these are my not ads for the top players, right? Someone like Sam Howell who led the quarterbacks this week. Now, it's not technically over. Coach Chandler, you got the Raiders playing tonight. Yeah, I don't have them winning, but we'll see. I don't have them winning. I'm going to make that clear. I don't have them winning, but hey, you know what, maybe. So not necessarily the top scorers of the week confirmed, but the top scorers as we go into Monday night, okay? We're looking at Sam Howell first overall in terms of the quarterbacks this week, which is good for him. Not somebody I would add. We have other players like Dak Prescott, Will Levis, somebody to keep an eye on, a rookie that I guarantee 99% of leagues don't have added, and he freaking balled in that game. Went 19 for 29 for 238 yards, 4 touchdowns. Holy crap! I'm not saying add this guy, but if you don't have a quarterback, if you have Kirk Cousins on your team and he just got hurt, your replacement for Kirk Cousins is an equally good white quarterback in terms of at least last week's points, maybe not equally good overall, blah, 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 blah. Will Levis. I love to see it. That'll lead you to be the highest scoring team in your league. Wink, wink. Yeah, where have I heard that before? I don't know. Probably Gallatin Night Football. Wink, wink. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how that goes. So that's kind of my quarterback ad right there. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at the top scorer. Somebody who didn't have a good week, Patrick Mahomes, got shut down by the no-fly zone, by the Orange Crush, the Broncos defense. Yeah, you didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. Thought no way my Broncos were going to take it home. Nuh-uh-uh. Well, look again, boy. We have Gus Edwards, 2 weeks in a row, passing 20 yards, 20 points. Don't really know what's going on there, but hey, I mean, I love it. I'm going to look at the overview right now on NFL Fantasy, call him out. He actually had 3 rushing touchdowns. Holy crap. What is going on with him? He's just getting the ball, it looks like. Hey, that's a sneaky ad. Maybe I'll go with some sneaky ads this week. Some ads that are going to be available in a lot of leagues. We got Will Levis. We got Gus Edwards. I love him. Let's go to receivers. So this is kind of, I've been having some kind of weird, or I've been having like traditionally, right? I kind of name the players in the top and the bottom, and it sort of gets kind of boring. And then I go to my ads. Well, this week I don't have a long episode planned. Don't have time. Not that I plan my episodes. That's because that sounds dumb. But I'm just gonna kind of look and I'm gonna see who are the highest scorers and who do I think you should be picking up. The highest scorer I can see on the list. Well, the receivers go CeeDee Lamb and then DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, I would not necessarily suggest adding him. He's had one game besides his last game going over 20 points with 23. He had 37 this week. I would say, okay. Actually, yeah, no, he is my sneaky ad this week, pairing with a sneaky ad of Will Levis. Who knows? Maybe Will just found his, old veteran. God, I'm looking at my posture and the reflection of the computers, and it sucks. Come on, Mikey, sit up. There's for some reason 3 computers in the office right now. Check the Fantasy Avenue podcast Instagram to see my setup right now. I'm gonna post it on the story because it's kind of weird. I don't know why I have so many computers. Follow the Instagram, DM me on Instagram, get on the podcast. That's the 3 steps you need to have a good life. And I was gonna say root for the Broncos, but that's a way to have a freaking heart-wrenching, terrible life that ends at 40 with a heart attack when we almost make the playoffs with 76-year-old Russell Wilson. That's kind of what I'm thinking in terms of being a Bronco fan. Anyway, let's move on. I'm sitting up straight now. Let me tell you. It's a sneaky ad with Will Levis because maybe he found his old trustworthy receiver, I think to somebody like my grandpa, Papa TJ, I know you listen to this podcast. I know you better be listening to it right here. You just called me a couple days ago trying to figure out how to turn it on. And I had to help you old butt. Come on. So listen to my podcast. It's kind of like an old guy's favorite shot glass, right? Pairs with some nice aged fine whiskey and a nice glass that he's going to grab no matter how many times he's already drank out of it this week. It's old. It's reliable. It's fancy. Back in the day, everybody wanted this shot glass. Now the only reason that you want this shot glass, it doesn't help you with the fellows coming over after a day of golf. That's not why you have the shot glass, not to show it off, right? The Tennessee Titans don't have DeAndre Hopkins to show it off. They just have him as a trustworthy glass to pour that fine aged whiskey, the fine aged whiskey that is Will Levis's floating footballs, and maybe that's all you need. So I'm saying, if you're going to add Will Levis and you have extra spots on your roster, go ahead and add DeAndre Hopkins because I like him. I talked about the tight ends. The tight ends are tough this week. Finally, let's go to kickers and defense of the week. Now, this is something that I find very interesting. Something that I do every week. Something that I don't necessarily go week to week with who do I think is going to play the best. We're looking at who do I think is going to play the best. I'm just kidding. I do that. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm rambling. I look and see who do I think is going to play the best, not necessarily who is the best, right? And who can you add in these leagues? Who can you add? I like Jason Sanders, Miami Dolphins kicker. Hasn't had a very fun year, really. I also like. Where is he? Where's the Broncos not have a game? Wait, pause, timeout. The Broncos might not even have a game this week. No, I was gonna say I like the Broncos kicker because they like to not score touchdowns. Really, they like to get close. I like Jason Sanders of the Miami Dolphins going against a Kansas City defense that has been tough but allowed a lot of points this week. Might be struggling against a good offense, I'm thinking that offense, which Jason Sanders has struggled to score because really all he does is kick PATs. I'm not thinking that the Dolphins offense is going to be able to score as many touchdowns as usual. And I think they're going to go to kicking a little bit more. And I think Jason Sanders is a guy that, because he's the 21st ranked kicker this year, is going to be available in almost all leagues. So I like him. I really do like him. Let's go to defense. holy crap, I might finish this episode under 15 minutes, but that's not going to happen. Finally, I like the Saints defense. They are the highest rated defense on the NFL fantasy app, and for a good reason. I have them added to my team. So, I see that little drop button, and I'm like, drop? Frickin' heck no. I'll drop it as much as prime Odell Beckham Jr. dropped one-handed catches. He didn't, okay? Because I'm not dropping the Saints defense because they're balling out this week. Going against the Chicago offense that's struggling, trying to find some footing with a new quarterback. We'll have Mr. D2 Heisman in again at quarterback. That's interesting, For all you Kirk Cousins owners out there, might have to pick up whatever your name is, something. I don't even know his name, but hey, at West Masters Community College University, he balled. So, why is the NFL any different, right? It's not it's the same. Actually, no, it's not. According to the Saints defense, so that's why I like the Saints defense this week. 4th defense overall this year. And they're going to be good again. So those are kind of my ads. Those are kind of my quick stories, my ads. It's pretty simple. The fantasy podcast has turned simple. I just need, once the high school football season's over, we'll try to put a little bit more effort, try to have longer segments, try to have more guests. Right now, I just got to make it through. Football takes its toll on all of us, including our emotional well-being. And so when the high school football season is over and my emotional well-being is good because we just won the chipper, I'll be fine. I'll be making a good podcast. So I love that you guys are here. Check out the Instagram. Check out the socials. Follow my private because I'm just kidding. I'm not going to drop my private. I know how many people listen to this podcast that want to stalk me. Okay? I don't think so. And we'll see each other I'll see you next week. I'll look right in your eyes and say, hey, thanks for being back to Fantasy Avenue. It's been Sid from Ice Age. Bump, 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 bump. Yeah, I'll see you later.
Dreaming of blissful summer days and creamy popsicles? Capture sun-drenched memories with the Orange Vanilla Dream Hydration Multiplier from Liquid IV. Just 1 stick and 16 ounces of water can help hydrate you better than water alone. Live your summer dream with Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code INDULGE20 at checkout.